real dinosaur, and so this is what I did. I took the DNA from my chicken from the first video I made, and I spliced it with DNA from my pet bearded dragon here. This process only took about 24 hours. Here's what it looks like under a microscope. And as you can see, the eggs came out perfectly. Although I have a long ways to go before I create a real-life velociraptor. Although their legs are very scaly like that of a dinosaur, they are very much clearly still chickens. Follow for part 2. Growing up, I was always fascinated with dragons, and I wanted to see if I could make one for my own. So I took the DNA of one of my pet water snakes here, and I spliced his DNA with my pet salamander. The results weren't as good as I expected. They were still amazing. As you can see, I made a snake-like creature with arms and legs. It breathes underwater, but it swims like a snake. I'm still a long ways away from finishing my creation, but I think it turned out pretty cool. For coming up on Easter, I wanted to share with you one of my favorite creations of all time. I was fascinated by the Easter Bunny as a child, and so I decided to make one for my own. So I took my pet bunny into my laboratory, and I decided to splice his DNA with my chicken here. And after my chicken had laid an egg, the results were astounding. As you can see here, we have a bunny-chicken hybrid. This is a bunny that walks like a chicken, but plays like a bunny. They eat like maniacs. They are so cute and playful. They love humans. The best part about these little guys is that they too lay eggs. I sell these for $5. Growing up, my favorite cartoon was always Cat Dog, and I always wondered how awesome it would be if we made a real-life cat dog. And that is exactly what I set out to do. And with the help of my personal pet Charger and my best friend's Feline, we extracted their DNA and took it back to my personal laboratory at home, where I spent the next 9 months splicing cat and dog DNA into what would be the world's first cat-dog hybrid. And the results are absolutely breathtaking. Notice the canine features with the soft cat-like fur and ears. Notice also the whiskers. And as you'll see, these cat dogs play like cats and dogs. These are on the market currently for $200. Thank you. I wanted to mix the DNA of an insect with a mammal. And that is exactly what I did when I took this pill bug and I extracted its DNA and mixed it with a mole. What's so interesting about this animal is that it's not only an insect, but it's also a mammal. The results were astounding. As you can see, the mole developed a bright white fur, but retained its armor. This beautiful creature is on the market right now for $20,000. One of my favorite animals that I've made so far was a cat mixed with a bird. And you won't believe it, but bird DNA and cat DNA are very similar. And their bone structure made it very easy to have favorable results. So just as I did with the chicken, I extracted the DNA from a cat, which was quite easy. And I spliced it with DNA from a chicken, like the ones from the videos before. The results were absolutely breathtaking. As you can see, I've successfully developed cats with wings. And although they can't fly, they still function as normal cats, except they have wings. I've sold hundreds of these all over the world, and I hope you love them.